Hey guys, just finished watching Arrow, Season 7, Episode 11, Past Sins. Wow, what an interesting episode. So this one, a bit more of a kind of a slower episode. Not too much action involved, a little bit of action. No future, nothing dealing with the future whatsoever, so that'll be interesting. If I'm not mistaken, at some point I think we do have an episode coming up where it's going to be entirely in the future type thing, so I think that could be cool. I think I remember hearing something about that, but that'll be fun to see as to where things go with something like that. But in this episode, we start off with Oliver and Black Siren playing Laurel, right, on TV. They're being interviewed, and they're talking about all their past and stuff, and I think that's really interesting. They're being interviewed on the basis of both being vigilantes, ex-vigilantes that are now open and out there type thing, and I think that's kind of an interesting idea there, that they're kind of being turned into these kind of like celebrities type thing because of their popularities, and also because of, Oliver was a celebrity before he even put on the hood, right? Just by being a queen, right? So I think that's kind of interesting, playing with that. And then we see China White, Kane Wolfman, who's Jeff Stroke's son. We see Cutter, who's I can't think of her name, but they're all part of the Suicide Squad. I think interesting because Cutter was originally part of the original Suicide Squad. I can't remember if China White was originally part of the first Suicide Squad. I don't think so, or she might have been really close to it, if not. But I think the other guy was the Bronze Tiger type thing. He was part of the original Suicide Squad, so I think that's interesting. But Cutter was definitely part of the original one, which had the relationship with Deadshot. I think that's kind of interesting for this show, especially when Curtis goes to say the words, use the name Suicide Squad, it gets cut off right away. So that was kind of interesting. They're calling it the Ghost and stuff. So I think that's kind of interesting here. Are they going to use the name Task Force X? Are they allowed to use it and all that stuff? I think that's kind of interesting to see. I don't know why they're not just kind of straight up use the name. Why can't they use the exact same name of Suicide Squad, but have a different characters? And obviously they're not going to use Harley Quinn. They're not going to use any of the characters that are in the movies, and just use, they're never going to have Cupid. Cupid is her name. Who plays Cutter is Cupid. They're never going to have Cupid over on the movie. So use those characters. Use the bottom of the barrel characters from the Suicide Squad canon that the movies are never going to use. And I think if they keep doing that and they allow the TV shows, allow Arrow to use the name Suicide Squad, it self-promotes. It's a way to help promote the movies, promote everything like that. But then whenever you have the movies, then people who don't watch the show just watch this, but hear Suicide Squad, they're here, there wouldn't be so much confusion, because they'd see the Suicide Squad, the TV, the movie ones, those are in your face, they're all out there, they're all over the internet and advertisement, they're all over TV and advertisement. The Arrow stuff is there, but it's not nearly as heavily promoted as a movie would be during the build-up to the movie, right? So, and I think by having a different team here, it kind of establishes the whole idea that the Suicide Squad is a team of villains that just, there is no set Suicide Squad. It's not like the Fantastic Four, who it's always Reed Richards, Sue Storm, and Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm. They're the four Fantastic Four. Yeah, things have changed a little bit here and there, but they're the main four, and they're the constant in the Fantastic Four. Whereas the Suicide Squad is a bit more different. I think kind of having that here and having the two different teams and using the same name for both teams just shows the average audience, the casual viewer, that you never know who could be part of the Suicide Squad, and you never know what could happen to the ones in the movie, and then you never know when someone could go, and then someone else could replace them, and I think that would be really interesting. So we see that someone from Earth 2 is kind of going after Black Siren, and it's kind of unclear where things go with that. They find out, she finds out later on that the person's in jail, and the person from Earth 2 is actually dead. And we saw Felicity, she's mentioned Cisco, and she texts Cisco and stuff, but it kind of bums me out that we should have seen that on the Flash beforehand. Maybe Cisco, we saw him in the last episode, maybe he gets a couple of texts and stuff. Maybe he just gets the text and goes, oh, Felicity wants me to do check something up for him, for her. And then it just kind of intrigues us, and then we see the text here, we see what he goes, and just had to send Felicity something off. And we don't actually have to see him working on this, going to Earth 2 to see it, or whatever he had to do to find out the information that she was looking for. I just want to see him get the text, and then later on he's just like, yeah, I got to do this. Let me just send this stuff to Felicity. She asked for this, and then I'll be right with you. Quick one-liners that would just throwaway liners that satisfy the people who watch both shows. But when you don't connect these little things, for the people who are watching all these shows, there's kind of no point. The only reason to watch all the shows is the crossovers that happen once a year. But that's not enough for me. I want the little crossovers, little things here and there. I want, why can't there just be a mention, Cisco here, and then Cisco could just get the text, because we never see Cisco know about it. I mean, I just wish that every time a character was mentioned on one show, it would be reflected on the other show. Little thing, Don't need to see him do much. Just a couple one-liners to say that he's getting a text from her. Maybe he gets the phone. I need your help with something. He picks up his phone and it says Felicity, right? Super easy stuff that would just be very fast, wouldn't take up much time on the show, and it would be so awesome to just have those little connections, but we never get those things. So that's kind of disappointing, and it always is driving me crazy. So, we see the Suicide Squads end up breaking free and taking her as hostage. That's kind of interesting and stuff. We see that going on. They're kind of taking him out hostage around the place. And first I was wondering, why is Curtis, doing something? Is he playing him? What's going on? He's kind of he's not even fighting or anything like that. He's just kind of giving in to everything. It's kind of weird. And then we see the son of Oliver Queen. So the son of the guy who was on the raft from the first episode of Arrow, when his father shot the other person who made it to the raft for the Gambit capsizing. His son is going after Oliver for the death of his father. That is Oliver's father killed him. So that was interesting. Then it's revealed that Curtis has played Diaz the whole time, and it was all some sort of VR inside of his head, and I think that was kind of really cool. I really like that idea, and I can't wait to see as to where things kind of go with that storyline, as to how things are going to be played with that, and how they're going to be able to map out things before things kind of happen and stuff. I think that's going to be really cool to see as to where things kind of go, and playing with that technology is how to kind of deal with that. I think that could be something interesting later on to see as to where things start to go, and I think it's going to be quite interesting to see. We see Oliver ends up telling everyone. He ends up telling the story of how his father killed for him, so that he would survive, so that there was one other person on the life raft, and his father had to kill him and then kill himself, so that Oliver could be the only one left, so that he could survive with enough food and water and stuff. And I think that was kind of interesting, and it kind of starts to bring Miko around. So hopefully it's going to be cool to see as to how that goes. But hopefully they really need to do a slow burn for that. So maybe by the end of this season, we end this season with her kind of starting to come around. Maybe at this point she's still kind of talking and not kind of responding to him. I think this could be interesting, but I just don't want it to be too fast of a build up, because she spent her whole life going with this. It wouldn't make sense for her to just all of a sudden be completely and part of the team and everything like that, and into a queen type thing, and joining the family and all that. So hopefully it needs to be a little bit more, and even more than the Laurel Lance Black Siren kind of story, where they kind of they brought her back there. They I can't think of herself, but I can't think of the word I'm looking for. But they brought her to a good and kind of redeemed herself type thing. So I think that's going to be a bit. It needs to take a little bit longer than that, if not twice as long, at least half again as long, so if it took a full season, maybe this season and a half, or if not 2 seasons, to really fully have her join everyone and everything be copacetic, between everyone and all that. So I think that's really going to be interesting to see as to kind of where things go with that relationship. And again, whenever we do get Thea back, which I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe we'll get Thea back later on the end of season 8, since that's been announced, but I don't see that happening. Maybe at the end of season 8, maybe she jumps in for an episode or 2. But it would be cool to see Thea finding out that she has a stepsister stuff, and I think that could be really interesting. Or a stepsister? I guess it would be a stepsister, since they'd have no blood actually related whatsoever, because Thea's not Robert's son. Thea's Malcolm's son, obviously, daughter. And I think that's kind of an interesting story. But it would be cool to see as to what she thought. She leaves, and all of a sudden there's a whole new other side of the family that she had no idea about too, with Emiko, right? And I think that's really going to be interesting to see as to where the relationship goes there. And with Oliver and Emiko's relationship, it's going to be cool to see as to how things go there. At what point does she start to let Oliver in into helping her finding on her mission to find who killed her mother, right? And taking on that. So I think that's going to be cool to see as to where things go there. And hopefully, I think it could be interesting to kind of save that storyline as to whoever killed Emiko's mother, and save that for season 8 and make that be the whole season 8 storyline. To let them finish this storyline here and continuing this season, and then splitting it off into the next season. So it's unclear. We'll see. I'm not sure if they finished filming. I think it sounds like some of them are finished filming season 7. I'm not sure if Arrow's done filming or not. I think Legends is done filming already, but they don't film a few episodes left. So if they know going into the end of the season that they have a season 8, hopefully they do. Maybe they got that announcement a little bit earlier. Who knows? That would be really interesting if they kind of can finish it off with a cliffhanger, because they know they have another season, and kind of continuing on that Miko storyline for finding out who her parents, who killed her mother, and making that be the season 8 storyline, which could also kind of the whole season 8 storyline being Oliver and Emiko's relationship and dealing with her back history and being about her, making the season 8 about her rather than about Oliver and him just trying to win her over throughout the whole season, and slow burn type thing. I think could be really cool dealing with that. And that way it's a way to get it done kind of fast within one season, but still getting the full burn effect of having every episode dealing with the relationship between Oliver and Emiko. And I think that could be really fun for season 8. So all in all, I can't wait to see as to where things go with all this. Definitely really interesting to see. And like I said, the little connections between Arrow and Flash that they should have had really kind of pissed me off here. So yeah, let me know what you think, guys, about all this in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.